Good afternoon to you. This is Mike Bowley at Scripted Authenticity, or better known as MickMacMike when he's nervous. And I've been making quite a few videos of late, so the nerves are getting more and more under control now. And certainly for today's lesson, because this one is not so much about being funny, this is more about the love that we all have for our four-footed, hairy friends. And I've created a new project, and I hope you all jump onto it and embrace it as much as the way I'm planning. And it's called Embracing Paws of Remembrance. It is our chance to honour our four-footed hairy friends as they cross the Rainbow Bridge. I am your host, MickMacMike, and I want to talk to you about something that's really dear to my heart. I hope and pray that you guys take it on board. It's not meant to be a joke in any shape or form. It's, as I talk about it more and more to you, I hope you all take it on board and make it a big success. And please, 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 even before I say anything, I'm asking you to share this to absolutely every single person in the world. Here we go. I'm going to explain what it's all about. Embracing Paws of Remembrance, honouring our four-footed friends as they cross the Rainbow Bridge. Experience the heartfelt musings and intriguing tales from the diary entries of your charming four-footed hairy friends as they navigate the ups and downs of life in your unique world. But sadly, you have to say goodbye to these fantastic creatures you lovingly called your four-footed hairy friends. In a world where whispers of love transcends time and space, Jem and Camillo from London come together to a bid. I'm going to start that one again because I know Camillo and Jem, and it wouldn't be right to stutter my way through this. In fact, I was going to go back a little bit. What am I doing? I'm creating a space where, for whatever the saddest of reasons, your friend, your cat, your dog, your horse, your rabbit, your bird, whatever it may be, but it's a creature that's not human, okay, has passed away. And they made a big, big dent in your life, and at the moment you're struggling with it, and you're trying to figure out how to say thank you to them in a way that they would understand. Hence, four-footed friends as they cross the Rainbow Bridge. And although I've done it like that, doesn't mean to say it has to be a four-footed animal. It could be. I've seen photos on Quora and that, animals who have lost a limb, an eye, whatever it may be. But the animal gave love to somebody, and that somebody wants to say thank you to them. All right. So this is what it's all about. So I'll start this one again. Right. In a world where whispers of love transcend time and space, Jem and Camillo from London come together to bid a tender farewell to their dearest and cherished Molly. As they feel the soft breeze of memories brush against their hearts, Molly's spirit dances in the gentle embrace of their love. Camillo is my wife's nephew. As I say, he lives in London. And Jem, his wife, between the two of them, had a beautiful cat called Molly for around about 12 years, I believe. And at Christmas time, she contacted us to let us know that Molly had crossed the bridge. And he stayed with me. Wouldn't leave me, but this thoughts about it. And I asked Jem at the time to send me a photo of Molly, and that I was going to do something for her. That she could say goodbye to Molly to help her grieving process. But I didn't know what it was going to be until now, when I got this all built. Number 2, from the mystical mountains of Dapa, Colombia, Carlos Pasha, Christarine, and Morita send out an internal echo of love and gratitude to their beloved companions, Nueves, Seven, Lula, Limon, and London. Overlooking the city below, their paws still leave imprints of protection and devotion on the mountain ridge, a testament to their unbreakable bond. Number 3, above the clouds of peace, Kathy and Mike from London hold a sacred space in their hearts for their precious late amigos, Ben, Bonzo, and Charlie, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge over 15 years ago. Though time may march on, the echoes of their love reverberate endlessly, painting the heavens with hues of eternal remembrance and gratitude. We here at Scripted Authenticity and the Four-Footed Friends of Our Past wish to embrace one very famous female German Shepherd dog called Wiesler Antilli, also known as Auntie, who passed away in her sleep at the age of 13 in Oxfordshire, which is in the United Kingdom for those who do not come from that part of the world. Auntie starred with Ricky Gervais in the poignant series Afterlife from 2019 to 2022. So if you think about it, that was the period when we were all suffering from the COVID pandemic. All our cities and countries were landlocked. So Ricky created this 2-season series, amazingly fantastic. And there was a dog in it who, I found out since, it's called Auntie, but in the series is known as Brandy. So if you still haven't seen the series, it still airs now on Netflix, and it's worth seeing the whole 2 seasons. It will fly by very fast, so I don't think you'll be binge watching for years ahead. It's just, I don't want to ruin it for Ricky. I want you to see it and just fall in love with what Ricky has created. From all of us at Scripted Authenticity, we extend our heartfelt condolences on the passing of a remarkable soul like you. You brought joy and warmth to countless hearts with your charismatic presence on screen alongside Ricky Gervais in Afterlife. Your legacy will forever be etched in the hearts of those who were lucky enough to witness your grace and talent. Travis and Ashley Foster, your loving companions, undoubtedly provided you with a home filled with love and care that every furry friend dreams of. Your journey across the Rainbow Bridge may be bittersweet, but you now join a choir of beloved 4-legged friends who await your arrival with wagging tails and open hearts. Now we include Molly, Nueves, Seven, Lula, Limon, London, Ben, Bonzo and Charlie. May all your spirits run free in endless fields of green, chasing sunbeams and rolling in the soft grass. Your memory will live on in the smiles and laughter you all brought to so many, leaving paw prints on our hearts that will never fade. Rest easy, dear Auntie, Molly, Nueves, Seven, Lula, Limon, London, Ben, Bonzo and Charlie. Your voices may have quietened, but the love you shared will echo on forever. With deepest sympathy, thoughts from all here at Scripted Authenticity to our dearly departed but never to be forgotten 4-footed friends. Lots of love from MickMacMike, Chris Doreen, Blackie, Goldie and HRH Liz III. In the tapestry of life, where furry companions leave indelible paw prints on our souls, these heartfelt goodbyes and everlasting love stories weave together, creating a timeless symphony of love, loyalty and remembrance. Through tears and smiles, may their legacy shine bright, forever etched in the stars above and the whispers of the wind below. Lots of love from MickMacMike, Chris Doreen, Blackie, Goldie and HRH Liz III. Embracing Paws of Remembrance, honouring our 4-footed hairy friends as they cross the Rainbow Bridge. If someone in the podcast or the YouTube community knows Ricky, Travis or Ashley, please pass on this anthropomorphic message to their dearly departed Auntie Lee. Call to action. Join us in honouring the cherished memories of our beloved furry companions. Do you have a 4-footed hairy friend who has crossed the Rainbow Bridge? Send us a message and a photo of your beloved pet to Scripted Authenticity's website, and we will feature their names and story in an anthropomorphic style in our podcast and YouTube videos. Let their spirit shine on and their memory be celebrated in a unique and heartfelt way. You can also email us at admin@scriptedauthenticity.com and quote the following: "Forever in our hearts, our 4-footed hairy friend was, in the name, who gave us memories that will last our lifetimes." Add your own personal message. Me, MickMacMike, will turn your words into an anthropomorphic message for you to your dear 4-footed hairy friend. I hope you'll take that in the right vein. all my dogs and got close to me. Just a quick one. Ben. I had Ben when I was a young man, and I was running a pub at the time, and I didn't do Ben a good justice, to be honest, as a pet for me. I was always far too busy, and he was chained up too much. And lucky enough, another young guy came to me and said, "Can I take over Ben's life?" And I said yes, willingly, because I was not happy with what was happening. And I found myself having to go to the centre of London every day and leaving the poor dog outside the place where I was living. It just was awful existence for him. And lucky enough, Ben ended up working on a farm, and he went on to have a fantastic life. So I'm ashamed of myself for those days, but I believe through Bonzo and through Charlie, I made amends. Bonzo was a dog who was a street dog, and I'd heard about him, and that he was up in North London walking the streets, and he'd go from shop to shop to get himself some food each day. So somebody heard that I was looking for a dog or wanted a dog, and so they put us both together in a flat. But it was the day before I was going on holiday for 2 weeks, and I met Bonzo, black and white collie. He came straight up to me, jumped on my lap, and just stared at me. That was it. We were friends. Instant. It was instant. It was just done. It was in the stars. So I said to the person who got it, who was looking after him, I said, "Look, I want him to stay with me." I said, "But I'm about to go on holiday for 2 weeks. Can you look after him? Here's the money to feed him for the next 2 weeks." He said, "Yeah, no problems, and don't give us any money. We can see how you two are going to get on well." And we did. He was fantastic as a collie. Great dog. And I got to take the smile off my face now, because the day that he died, I was indoors in my house, and I just cemented a deal where I was buying a property near the airport, near Heathrow Airport. And I came outside to come and meet my second wife, Kathy, who was taking Bonzo out for his usual walk. And as I came out to come and join them, they were crossing the zebra crossing in front of us. And a young boy who had just passed his test that day, and his mother, a rich lady, in her great wisdom of being a rich woman, decided to give him as a congratulation present a BMW. He just passed his test, and he's come flying down the roads, and it's pouring with rain, and he fails to see Kathy and Bonzo crossing the road, and they were doing it properly. And Kathy had to let go of the lead, hoping that the dog would run to get out of the way. She went backwards to save herself, and the car just ploughed straight into Bonzo. And in front of me, I watched Bonzo just literally get ripped apart underneath the wheels and underneath the engine. You imagine if you're a dog lover, or any person, any human, and you see that in front of you, it tears you from limb to limb. And I ran over, and the car had gone into a skid, and he finally stalled the engine. I've come over. I'm not even thinking straight. I'm just panicking, and I'm trying to lift the back end of this BMW up. Why? How can I get to the dog by doing that? Others ran over. They pulled me back because I wasn't thinking straight, and they got the car out of the way and took the young lad away from me. And I just went to my poor dog, who was still alive, crying his eyes out he was. And I picked him up as best I could, and I said to Kathy, get the car. And I happened to drive a BMW. No, it wasn't a BMW then. No, I was driving Metros then for the British School of Motor, I think. So anyway, she brought the car around, and got him in the back onto a blanket and that. And I said, "We've got to get to a vet. Do we know any vets that's open?" And we found one just further down the road, a place called Eastcote in North London. And we came in a rush, and I'm carrying him. And that day, I was wearing brand new clothes that I only just bought in the morning. I was wearing them. The idea was I was going to go out with my wife then. But I said, so anyway, I got him. I come forward, and this nurse, this veterinary nurse, she's obviously in a state of panic herself. And I said, "Where do you want me to put him? Where do you want me to put him?" And she turned. She says, "In the cage there." And she pointed up. She didn't point down. She pointed up. So I went to pick him up to put him into the cage. And as I did so, his frame just fell apart. And I was just literally covered from head to toe in his blood. And in the sheer shock of this, I dropped him. I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to do it. And I dropped him. And he landed in a heap on the floor and slid across the floor in his own blood. And Kathy's now screaming her head off, so I've had to grab her and pull her head into me and just hold her so she can't see what I'm seeing. And I turned to the nurse, who was just transfixed, and I said, please, give him the injection. Put him to sleep now. And she got galvanized her, and she ran over and she injected him quickly, and he went to sleep. That was over 15 years ago. More than that, actually. I'm probably talking over 20 years ago now. And yet I relive that every single day of my life. It never leaves me. As soon as I see a collie out there, in Colombia, they're pretty good here. They look after their dogs very well. It's always on leads. There's never not a lead on a dog. And they look after their dogs. A big dog loving community here. But as soon as I see a black and white collie, straight away I think of Bonzo. Then a few months go by, and I decided to get another dog. And I went to the local rescue home near Watford. And I'm going to cut a long story short. It was a beautiful dog that kept talking to me. And he was a collie, but he was a rusty looking collie, like an autumn colour collie. And I'd taken him for a little walk, and all the other dogs hadn't really spoken to me. They just ignored me. But this one didn't. He was yapping away like a good one. And so I came out. I said, what's his story? She said, well, he came in with his mum about 2 weeks ago. And they'd both been victims of a really nasty man who had, as you can see from the scar on under his eye, or above his eye there, he'd been glassed in one of his drunken spells. Oh, really? So where's the mum? She said, oh, the mum's gone. She went a couple of days ago. So he's this poor little fella's all on his own. The family that took over the mum didn't want another dog. And I thought, wow. I looked at Kathy and she went, no. Rightly so. She wasn't ready herself yet to suddenly bring another four-footed hairy friend into the lives. Well, we went out to the car, and I couldn't do it. I said, I'll be back in a minute. I've left something on the counter. I hadn't. I came back in and I said, how quickly can I take the dog? What's his name anyway? She said, his name's Charlie. I said, okay. How quickly can we do I can buy him, or whatever it is you want me to do. She said, we can do it in the next 5 minutes if you want. I said, yes, please. So I got it all done. Next thing is out I come, in he jumps in the back of the car. Kathy's looked at me and saying, yeah, bad boy. But she didn't mind it down. And he joined us. What a funny dog he turned out to be. He was a laugh a second, that one. We used to, at the end of each night, we were due to go, we had a two bedroom house, upstairs, downstairs, and big flight of stairs. And me and him, we used to have this battle every night. Who was going to get up them stairs first, right? And we would look at each other and go, you ready? And wallop, I would go. And I always tried to beat him. I always tried to cheat. But he was always up there first, and he always managed to trip me up on the way up. So I'd land in a heap, and he'd land at the top of the stairs. And if he, in his anthropomorphic voice, would have easily turned around and said, yeah, told you, I got 4 feet, you only got 2. But no, he was great. And you could see him giggling. He loved what was happening. He also loved Kit Kats, which I've since found out that Kit Kats can actually poison your dogs. And for about 8 years, Bonzo had a Kit Kat a day with me. Well, it didn't kill him. Well, I hope it didn't. Another thing, Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Oh, he loved Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So I'd sit there with a big tub of this stuff and I'd eat it in front of him. And Kathy would say, will you stop torturing the dog? And I say, his name is Charlie. And I'm not torturing him, he's waiting for the final bit. And when I got to the bottom, when there was just enough there for him in his little belly, I then pass him across, and he'd go off, he'd go, and that was it. You wouldn't see him for another hour till he's demolished every inch of whatever's inside that carton. And what else did he? Oh yeah, we at one stage lived in a place called Pinner, which is North London again, and we were running a newsagents, and above us was this big flat that we had. It came with the newsagents, So each morning, or every day, Charlie took it upon himself to race past one of us, race outside the door, and he had to turn left or turn right, whichever he had to do. He had to run along the balcony, down these big steps, go around the where all the garages were, where the local shops stored their products. He'd run around there, moaning his head off and laughing and joking, and then he would come racing up again, and his job was in his head was to race at me as hard as he could, and then dive up to go either this way or that way over me to get back into the apartment. And he loved it. It was great fun. We were forever falling down in a heap. Well, one day, Kathy decided that she could make him stop. So she's on her hands and knees by the door, the entrance of the door. He's gone flying down the stairs. He's gone running around the corner. He's come up. He's seen it's her. He's come racing up. He's come at her at full pelt, bashed into her. The pair of them went flying head over tits all over the floor. And he's jumping with joy what he's done. And he happens to turn in his excitement. There's the washing is there. And what is hanging on the clothes peg is Kathy's Snickers. Yeah, her little silky Snickers. So he's grabbed one of those, and then he's raced back, jumped over her. She's tried to do a Bobby Styles type save, can't do it. He's gone flying down the stairs, but he didn't go around the park, in that area where we were at the back of the shops. He went out onto the Pinner High Road and started legging it up the road with a pair of knickers hanging out of his mouth. And following behind him was Kathy, just racing after him and trying to get to him. Couldn't. And the traffic stopped, people stopped. There was a roar of laughter going on. And I'm looking out of the window of the flat. I'm watching all this. How I didn't wet myself that day, I don't know. But and to have that memory of him been with me ever since. He died a sad way of dying, but a good way for him. He came to me about 7 o'clock one morning, and he was crying. And I said, "What's wrong with you, mate? You all right? Come and join me on the bed." And he wouldn't. He kept crying. So I got out and I said, "What's wrong?" And as he went to turn, I could see his legs, his back legs, are gone. I thought, "Oh no, his hips are gone." So I picked him up. I said, "Have you been to the toilet yet?" So I carried him down the stairs, out to the back through the kitchen, and out to my back garden. And there was an area for him that he could go and do whatever he wanted to do. And I just lifted the big drains up and chucked it all in. It was all cleaned up. So it was never a problem with his poo. Anyway, I got him up to that point, and I had to hold his back legs up so he could actually go to the toilet and not make a mess of himself and keep his dignity. And then I said, "Okay, are you ready to walk back? Do you want to do that now?" And he couldn't. So I picked him up, carried him back, and I went down to into the dining room. And I sat down on the floor with him, and he rested his head across my lap. And that was say 7 o'clock in the morning. And I picked up the phone and I called the vets. And the young guy, really nice fella, he looked after Charlie since the day I brought him home. And I'd said to him, I said, "Look, I think it's come to the end for him. Would you mind coming to see him?" He said, "I can, Mike, but I can't get there till about 7 o'clock, 7:30 tonight. Are you okay about it?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." I said, "I'll stay here with Charlie for the rest of the day. I'll wait for you to come." Kathy had to go to work, so she went off to work at Heathrow. And later on, when she finished, she came back home, and I was still there in the same place with him all day. He hadn't said much. He'd slept most of the day. He hadn't tried to get up or anything at all. He just sat there and just stayed in my arms. And my back was against the big, like American-style fridge that we had. Then the call came and that he was outside, and so we let him in. He came up and he says, "Okay, Mike," he said, "have you said your final goodbyes to him?" And I still hadn't, not deep down. And both me and Kathy at that time did say goodbye to our friend. And then I said to the vet, I said, "Okay, when you're ready." And while I was holding him nice and tight, he gave the injection, and it was instant. The heart stopped. Everything was gone. Wow, you can feel it in hear my voice now. That's what, 15 years ago. And that moment that he'd gone, won't leave me. I'm sorry, he just won't leave me. It's another reason why I love being in as a writer for Anthropomorphic, because I had a 4-footed hairy friend. I had 3. And the third one, poor Charlie. And I know that Kathy, in the end, when we had him cremated, they came and presented her with a small box with his ashes in. And even when I came to live in Colombia, I know that Kathy still kept that box. She didn't bury it. So I imagine she has done since. But she lives in England, and I obviously live over here in South America. And it's a subject I don't bring up if I get a chance to talk to her, because I don't want to upset her. It was a moment that we both shared that, well, perhaps you can understand now why I've created this remembrance project for our 4-footed friends. So if you don't mind, all I want to say now is I'm going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for tuning in and exploring the world of anthropomorphism with me, MickMacMike. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, share your feedback for future episodes, and until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and stay authentically you. Ta-ra for now.